Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic, Volume 11, Episode 7. American Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and you need some games to play with your friends and family, I'm sure. So why not check out the Turkey Trial if you have not already played it. It is a full hour-long escape game in just 18 cards, part of the Holiday Hijinks series, and I would love it if you checked it out. But moving on from Turkey to Turnkey, today's puzzle. And it is a puzzle type that is about path drawing as opposed to loop or line drawing. And so it's going to be a little bit of a head scratcher for me to figure out how best to annotate things in the interface, but I'm sure we'll figure it out together. So first, let's take a look at the rules. In a turnkey puzzle, from each clue, we draw a path through the centers of cells. This is much like our loop puzzles, but you can see that we have multiple segments that start at these circles, the clues, and travel along some distance horizontally and vertically through cells. A number indicates how many times its path turns. So there's 3 turns, 1, 2, 3 times along its path, for example. We do have some clues that don't have numbers in them, so we don't know how many times they turn. And each path must be at least 2 cells long, not including the cell with the clue, and each cell must be visited by exactly 1 path. So there's a minimum length, even in the case of these circles with no number. You can see that travels 1, 2 spaces. That's the bare minimum. Or this one does. You can see that that turning is legal. And every cell must be visited by exactly 1 path. So we're never going to have these paths touch each other or cross in any way. And we don't have any empty cells in the grid once we are done. Those are the rules of Turnkey, so it's time to solve a puzzle. Today's Turnkey puzzle was set by Shye. As always, big and little numbers draw my attention, and I start by seeing the zeros in the corner. We know that lines can't touch each other. Actually, even number aside, all of these that are in dead ends are going to have to begin by moving in that direction. So I can do that for all of those clues, and we know that they move at least 2 cells. So these are still in dead ends. This one has some freedom, but these will have to keep on going. And this 0 and this 0 in both cases, I guess we didn't really need that 0 in there. An empty circle would have sufficed because there's nowhere else for those to go. So that is done. I'm going to use a little X at the end to indicate that a clue has reached its end point. The 1 clue is long enough but hasn't turned yet, so it's going to turn there. And I'm tempted to say that by uniqueness, that's as far as it's going to go, although sometimes we might have one that needs to extend a little further to take up the last couple cells in the grid, I bet. But I expect that to be the end of that one, but we don't know that for sure. This 2 has to turn, and we'll have to turn 1 more time, but that makes this 3 have to start going to the east. This 2 needs to keep going for 2 turns. That's the first one, and it can't turn again because it would hit that one, so it keeps going. This has to turn. That forces this to go west. Can't meet up with this one, so they're both going to turn south. That's as far as this one has to go. This is as far as this one can go, so that one's done. The 3 clue, we can't turn here, so we got to keep going to get 2 more turns in. This 2 has to keep going to get at least 1 more turn in, and as predicted, the 1 clue was in fact done already. I bet this 2 will be as well. We'll find out. This 1 and this 2 are now in dead ends, so they come out. Same over here. and this one has to keep going and then turn. Can't turn a second time here, so it's got to keep going. This will have to turn. That forces this to go west. That forces this clue, since it still hasn't had its second turn, to go a little bit further. It can't keep going or turn north, so it turns south. That finishes off this clue. This one's going to have to turn. That finishes off this clue. Over here, this is still in a dead end. It's got to turn at least once. This will have to turn. This will have to go east. That finishes off the 2 clue as predicted. This one still needs 2 more turns, and it's not going to get that unless it goes at least this far. This has to turn south and keep going. This needs a second turn. That finishes off the 1. The 3 needs to keep going so that it can turn 2 more times. This one turn, we need 2 more. 2, 3 at minimum, finishing off the 2. Here we have to escape the dead end in both cases, and this one doesn't turn at all, so this is going to have to go down there and stop. This will have to go east and stop. This clue... Oh, it's not obvious what happens there. This 2 is a bit more interesting. If it were to keep going, that's okay at the moment, but then it would be stranded, and it's not going to get its second turn because it can't meet up with either of these paths nor this clue. So it's going to go south for its second turn. That forces this one south, forces this farther south, 1 turn there, which means this 0 comes over this way. Oh, and I prematurely marked this as done. We don't know that that's done, although I expect that is the case. I just noticed that because of the symmetry over here. This one has to turn. That does mean that this clue is done. This one needs to go far enough to turn again, which is the turn's going to be right there. This might be done. This might be done. This has to come south. 1, 2, 3. This has got all the turns it needs. So does this and that. This clue can't go north. Oh, that's interesting. This clue can't go north because it wouldn't be able to get a length of 2. And what else can come in here? It can't come from here because we've already had our 3 turns, so it can't turn again. So this has to continue longer than its minimum. The first time we've had that happen. Here we need 2 more turns. 1, 2, minimum. Well, that's exactly the number of turns we get. We just don't know if this continues straight. 1, 2 there. This has to come south. It's got to turn twice, and that's that one's forced. It might turn again here or keep going. This one is done. This has to come east. This isn't done yet, so it's going to have to turn there. And that finishes off our 3 clue. This has to come south and not meet up with either of those, so it comes over here. So this one's done. This one's done. This one is done. This has to turn because it has to be at least length 2. That forces this south, and it forces this clue to turn for its second time right there. So those are both done. This has got to continue. This one can't go any further. This one needs a second turn, and that's our final cell. So that is how you solve a turnkey.